We haven't had a chance to mourn Herbert, Doreen and Chizzy. Right from the passing of Herbert to this day, it has been turbulent. The family has been through a very difficult time. Every sibling of Herbert is a professional. You know, whether you talk about lawyer, accounting, computer, that everyone is a professional. Tochi can get the benefit of knowledge from advice from everybody, including her grandfather. And we're seeking for transparency and accountability. As a family, these were red flags. You know, Betty Blanco being paid off millions of dollars. Her name is not there anymore. Why did he step down to Uche? Why is Aigboje the sole trustee of Herbert's estate worldwide? Why is he hiding under this? Why don't we know how?
The ongoing feud between the family of late banking icon Herbert Wigwe, his best friend Aigboje Aig-Imoukhuede, and his daughter Tochi Wigwe has continued to generate mixed reactions. This follows a tell-all interview of the late banker's elder sister, Joyce Wigwe, on February 27, 2025, after the one-year memorial. Contrary to what is being purported in the media, the US-based lawyer explained that the issue is much deeper than what people think. According to her, Aig, the group chairman of Access Holdings, has been making suspicious moves since her brother passed tragically with his wife and son.
So I got the news while we were in London. Ike was the one who shared the news with us, and we were completely devastated, of course, because we had just spoken with him, right? And
even worse, Aig isolated late Herbert's surviving eldest child, Tochi Wigwe, from her family and made her sign unnecessary papers without the counsel of her family or the family lawyer.
Why would Aigboje decide to deal with Tochi alone, flanked by Polusoro, and Tochi is not allowed to reach out and get the benefit of advice from her father's siblings or from her grandparents or from people that she truly knows are her family, with money or without money? Why would you want to cordon her off and manipulate her and keep her and exclude her from everybody else where she can get help and get advice? Why does she need to get clearance from you to even talk to her aunties and her uncles? It's mind-boggling, and we don't understand what is going on, because if truly he says he's sincere and he says he means well for Herbert and the children, I think he would want to be able to, you know, get the best for them.
This, alongside many other scenarios, is the reason the family is trying to act in her best interest, so she doesn't make a mistake or decision that cost her her inheritance. As a matter of fact, Joyce explained that the family only demanded transparency and wanted Tochi and her siblings' inheritance to be put in investment vehicles so that when they all come of age, they have something to set them up for life. Unfortunately, Aig is not too happy about the Wigwe family's moves to protect Tochi, which is why he has been making moves to punish the late Herbert's 90-year-old father and destroy the family's reputation in the media. Joyce claims that the report is untrue, especially the reports that Herbert's father, Pashingle Wigwe, is contesting his will.
The document that is referred to as a will was a 3-page document. The document that they put in the court here did not even talk about, they did not even mention the beneficiaries. And Herbert has 4 kids. So it doesn't even mention the beneficiaries. That's number one. And it doesn't even mention even one trust asset. But a will without a trust asset, where are you going to get the assets to put in this will? Where are you going to create them from, except if you plan on creating a new trust to attach to this will, which would be criminal, of course. And I hope that is not what they were planning to do. Because Herbert has trusts for his children. He has trust in New York, he has trust in London, he has trust in Cyprus, he had trust for his children, and each of them was given an equal share of interest in it.
She also says that their father is not fighting Tochi over her father's property. That is the narrative Aig wants the public to see. Joyce Wigwe didn't stop there. She also dropped a bombshell as she implied that Aig may have something to do with her brother's tragic passing because he was responsible for planning the trip that ended his life and others. And he was also the first person to announce their death to the family. According to the US-based professional, the late Herbert was not a fan of American football or the Super Bowl. However, he was crazy about polo. More so, the company Aig hired for the trip had been negligent in the past, causing many to wonder if something sinister was brewing in the dark and if Herbert Wigwe's death was not an accident. Is this why Joyce believes Aig is isolating Tochi from her family?
I don't understand the sneaky behavior. I really don't understand. There's been so many questions raised. The trip, the arrangement of the flight, the way the lawyers were got.
Does he have plans to take over Herbert's assets and leave his children high and dry? Or does he have the best of intentions?
My father can never, will never, none of us will never sue our child. We can't sue our child. We love our children. We love on our children.
What's good, guys? It's T-Code here for African Glitz.
Following the one-year remembrance service held in honor of the late CEO of Access Bank, his wife, Doreen, and son, Chizzy, on February 9, 2025, Joyce Wigwe, the elder sister of the banking icon, caught major heat online. A viral video of her speaking to newsmen had many people questioning her motives, mainly after she referred to Tochi Wigwe as Herbert's daughter instead of her niece. Reports that the family, led by the late Herbert's father, were suing his daughter over properties and contesting his will did not help matters. However, Joyce sparked curiosity when she explained how the Wigwe family were almost denied the privilege of honoring their one-year memorial by newly appointed Access Holdings Group chairman, Aig-Imoukhuede, who was once the late banker's business partner of over 25 years. She also narrated how Herbert's elderly parents almost lost their lives in the ongoing feud and how her brother, Emeka Wigwe, was almost crushed by Aig's convoy in their village and then later arrested by the DSS for assaulting an officer.
Which is there? Which is there? Yes. Which is there?
This alone had many calling for a full explanation of what's really going on behind the scenes. And on February 27, 2025, Joyce Wigwe answered those calls during an interview with TV 360. The Stanford graduate and US-based lawyer revealed that Herbert is not the first death they will experience in the family. About 27 years ago, they lost Osita Wigwe, and Joyce said it took the family 10 years to come together and mourn him because they all were heartbroken.
It's been the most difficult year we've ever been through. My father is 90 and he says even the Civil War was not as bad as this year. We come from a very small family. We're children, 6 of us. My late brother, Osita, who was the first, passed on. It was really, really hard. It took us 10 years to be able to even come together as a family to mourn Osita. Then now, Herbert, the second son, each of them at the point at which they are rising, they get cut off. So it's been particularly hard for my parents, particularly the way Herbert passed on.
According to the legal practitioner, the Wigwes come from a small family in Isiokpo, Rivers State, and are very close. What this means is that they had a great relationship with Herbert's children, so much so that when he tragically passed, their first instinct was not only to grieve and honor him, but also to protect and support the 4 children he left behind.
So we came from a small family, extremely close. My father is not polygamous. My mom was, a nurse working hard. So we were quite tight-knit, 6 of us, 3 boys, 3 girls. And we supported each other growing up.
Unfortunately, all their efforts have been foiled by Aigboje Aig-Imoukhuede, who initially presented himself as a friend of the late Herbert and a friend of the family, which made them all, including Pa Wigwe, embrace him and let their guards down. Joyce said Aig started showing red flags from the late Herbert's funeral, explaining how Aig and his wife sat close to Tochi Wigwe and were flanking the kids on all sides, preventing actual family members from reaching out to them. At some point, even the family of Herbert's wife, Doreen Chizoba Wigwe, thought the Wigwes were using Aig to block them.
There was obvious from the funeral that Aig and his wife kept flanking the kids and would not let us close to the kids. We noticed this consecutively. At some point, even Chizoba's siblings thought we were the ones orchestrating it. And so when we tried to even change the seating arrangement, we came back and we found out that Access Bank staff had gone back to putting it the way their boss had asked them to do. Even then, we still did not think there was a problem. I mean, we just thought, okay, well, fine, if you want to sit close to the children, I mean, this is neither here nor there.
After the burial, Aig started visiting Pa Wigwe and holding closed-door meetings with him with a camera in place. After a while, Aig's lawyer, Paul Usoro, who doubles as the chairman of the board of directors at Access Bank PLC, replaced him. Usoro would make 90-year-old Pa Wigwe sign documents without witness, and when asked for a copy of the signed document, it would start giving excuses.
They wouldn't allow any family member, just my dad, into the room. And my dad would say, okay, that's fine. I mean, he can handle it. Then they said to my dad, oh, this is confidential. You must not tell anybody. My father believed them and would not tell us, the children. At some point we thought, why are you having meetings? I mean, I'm a lawyer. Why can't I be in the meetings? Or Emeka is there. Why can't we be in the meetings? He said, oh, no, they said it's confidential. Let's have the meetings.
Emeka is the younger brother.
Emeka is Herbert, yes, younger brother of Herbert. And so we let them have these meetings. In course of this, they said to my dad that he needed to sign some documents. What were the documents? Well, they said they had met Tochi and discussed with Tochi, Herbert's daughter, my niece, to say, who would you like to work with you on Herbert's estate? And my niece said to them, oh, she wants to work with her grandfather. That's my dad. Because they were very close. For every vacation they went with my parents. So there is a extremely close relationship. So Tochi said she wants to work with her grandfather on this thing. And so I believe they signed the document. My father signed, she signed. But the lawyer didn't leave the document behind. And each time we asked him for a copy of the document, the lawyers spoke.
Joyce explained that their father didn't enter into the middle of this issue by himself, but because of Tochi. When Herbert passed, Aig appointed himself as the sole trustee of his estate and then reached out to Tochi. He then asked her who she would like to work with in the family concerning her inheritance, and she mentioned her grandfather, with whom she enjoys a close relationship. According to Joyce, their grandfather went on almost every vacation with them. As of January 2024, before Herbert passed tragically, Grandpa enjoyed a vacation with his granddaughter in South Africa. Again, they were all together when Herbert's younger daughter had surgery on her back. Unfortunately, Herbert left no will, at least none to the knowledge of the family. But somehow, 7 months after the late banking icon died, Aig informed Pa Wigwe of the will in September 2024 and then sponsored his trip to London, only to foil plans of his return and then abandon him.
We were told that there's a will to be read. My father, Aig came and told my father in August, oh, Daddy, you must be tired. Herbert, always sent you to Lancerhof for a medical check and all that. So my dad was really happy. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, right? So he shipped them off to Lancerhof. Aig sent him a message, oh, we're about to read the will. And my father was in a state of frenzy because he had not been told about the will. No other family member was told. And we found out a bit unusual because you sent my father abroad. When you asked that the will was going to be, you fixed the date for the reading of the will. You knew you had sent him abroad, and then you refused to let us know. My dad, a 90-year-old man, was in a state of frenzy. He's never had to be involved in reading of his child's will. Didn't know what to do. Called Emeka, can you go? Emeka thought, it's a bit unusual. I'm right here. Why couldn't Aigboje reach out to me?
When the family did their investigation, they found that the will presented by Aig was a 3-page document that spoke to a trust asset.
So we were not represented. we had read the will. So we got a lawyer to get us a copy of what was read, because it wasn't shared with us. So we got a copy of what was read, and that was when the, red flags came up. And the first thing was, it was a 3-page document that they presented.
However, there was no trust asset attached to the document and no list of beneficiaries. Hence, the basics of a will were unmet. The will was also made in Florida in 2013 and is a total of 18 pages filed in Florida, but I'd reduced it to about 3 pages in Nigeria. The will only covers Herbert's Florida properties, but not Nigerian assets.
This 3-page document spoke to a trust asset. There was no trust asset attached to this document. There were no list of beneficiaries attached. Any lawyer would know that the basics of a trust were not met. How can you speak to a trust? So what are you sharing if there is no assets to be shared? Who are you sharing it to, and in what proportions is it being shared to? Where was this will made? So we looked at it and we said, no, there is something that this is an incomplete document at best, if it is genuine. Why is this document being filed in the probate in Lagos? Was it filed elsewhere? When you look at it, you now find out that it was a document that was actually prepared in Florida. It was sometime in 2013. So we now decided to go to the Florida courts to see if it was lodged there, if Herbert lodged the will there. And the next thing we found out that if Herbert wanted it to be of general applicability with his primary domicile place in Nigeria, surely he would lodge it in Lagos court here. That wouldn't be too much. Somehow Herbert didn't put it here. And I don't even believe it was even lodged in Florida until after Herbert passed on. We now went and had to went through several hoops to be able to get into the Florida court documents to find the complete documents. So they filed a 3-page in Nigeria. The full document is like 18 pages. Why wasn't the full document filed? That was a problem we had. The full document now showed us that the will spoke to a trust asset, and the trust asset was one trust asset, which was Herbert's property in Florida. And it was said to be limited in jurisdiction to Florida. We found it misleading that the full document is not being signed. What are you hiding from? What is it that you're hiding?
Also, one Betty Blanco was listed in the original document alongside Uche Wigwe, but also Uche Wigwe appeared in the 3-page Nigerian document.
The will spoke to personal representatives, and a personal representative Herbert puts there is a Betty Blanco, and then Uche was next in line.
Uche, that's your cousin.
Uche, my cousin. Now, if you look at the court documents in Florida, there was a settlement agreement they had with Betty Blanco. We understand Betty was paid off in millions of dollars. We don't even know if Betty was paid off from Herbert's estate. Where was the money got from to pay? And why weren't we being told about this? Now, can you bring the entirety? In other words, even if there was a settlement agreement, we want to understand that you say, okay, Betty is no longer part of it. Who
actually brought the document?
Isn't Aigboje and Polusor, his lawyer? And we say, but why is Betty's name not there? Why has it stepped down to Uche Wigwe?
So you saw Betty's name in
Betty's name is in the original document. I can share the documents with you. It's not a secret. It's a court document, public document. And secondly, you bring it here without a trust. What assets were you planning to apply to this will in Nigeria? Were you going to create another trust? Or what was the asset? We don't know.
Because of this document, which mentioned his name as one of the trustees' options, Aig immediately appointed himself as the sole trustee of all of Herbert's assets worldwide. He is moving this trust document to be domiciled in Nigeria for general applicability.
Because of the step down in Florida, had Doreen. So yes, for Aigboje, people had died. Doreen had passed on. Chizzy had passed on. So he stepped down to Aigboje. But when he brought it here to Nigeria, he excluded that part and put forward the part of personal representative. And we said, oh no, if you want to be sole trustee, well, make it known. Let it be a public, let the world know what is going on, that you want to be sole trustee of Herbert's estate worldwide, right? And not just limited to the jurisdiction in Florida. And And I think that is where all hell let loose, because he said, why do we dare question the will that he brought?
This was when the Wigwe family, through their lawyer, filed a caveat to contest the suspicious will. And just like that, Aig retaliated and stopped paying Herbert's parents their stipend.
And he said to us, no, you have to pull out the caveat. And we said no, because of all of these red flags. We called him, our lawyer called him. Let's have a conversation about this so that we can clarify it. A caveat is a caveat. It just says beware. We can always pull it out. That's not a problem for us. But we needed to bring him to the table so we can have a conversation. And he said he wasn't going to honor us with a conversation. We didn't deserve a conversation from him. My lawyer wrote to his lawyer and they refused to honor us with a conversation. Because of that, we put the caveat in and we decided that, oh, well, in that case, he would, let's go to court and find out what happened. So he was actually has actually since then been extremely upset at us. And as a result of that, he stopped paying my parents their monthly stipend.
The group chairman of Access Holdings accused Pa Wigwe of asking too many questions because Joyce Wigwe was manipulating him. Aig said Pa Wigwe also used the stipend to pay lawyers to fight him. This move forced the Wigwe family to seek interim administrators for late Herbert's assets again, so the parents can be looked after and information on all assets so they can be protected on behalf of Tochi and her siblings.
So Aig had graciously been providing stipend the way Herbert was providing stipend for my parents. But after the caveat, we noticed he stopped. When he was asked why he stopped by mediators, and he said because he believed that my father was using the money he was providing for him to pay lawyers to sue him, and so he would not give him any money because he believed the money was coming from it's from his pocket, Aigboje. And we said, oh, thank you so much for being so gracious. But we believe that Herbert's estate has enough money to look after his parents. So please, can we get an interim, we'll file an interim application of the court to let us know Herbert's interest in Access Bank, 10-gen, coronation, his life insurance, and all the things that pertain to Herbert. And then the court can actually, from them, actually make an interim order so that the parents can be looked after, pending when the suit is finally decided.
At no point did the Wigwe family sue Tochi, but Aig told them that it was over his dead body that the family would ever get information on Herbert's assets. After the family had sued Aig and Uche, Tochi's uncle, their lawyer added Tochi to the suit to push the narrative that the grandfather was suing the granddaughter over property.
My father will never fight a child of his. In fact, he told Aigboje and Usoro repeatedly, he's never been to court all his life. So he is completely averse to court. And he said to them, we need to work as one. We will never go to court over any issue. So I believed that they now rode on the back of that. And we had begun to hear snippets of the fact that they're going to pitch him, to really give him the punch, pitch him against his granddaughter. And we didn't believe it would come to pass until what had happened. Dad just wanted a sense of transparency and accountability, because suddenly he has grandchildren who don't have parents anymore. They needed to be looked after. My dad just wants to know that his children are being provided for. Several times called Aigboje, we need to be able to know Herbert's interest and how it is being stored, so that as these children grow older, they would have access to it without a problem. My dad is 90 years old. He would not always be with these children, but let's come up with a structure to make sure that these things are properly invested so that these children will get the benefit when they come of age. When my dad asked these questions, it became a problem because they refused. They said they were not going to tell my dad anything. All he should be interested in is his monthly stipend, and they can't give it to him because he's asking too many questions.
Joyce Wigwe also mentioned a major conflict of interest because Paul Osoro is the chairman of the board of directors of Access Bank PLC and also acts as Tochi's lawyer, Aig's lawyer, and lawyers to the other 3 children.
Paul Osoro happens to be the chairman of Access Bank. He happens to be Aig's lawyer, he happens to be Tochi's lawyer, and he happens to be the lawyer to the 3 children. We have a problem with that because he can't be loyal to every single person there. There is a conflict of interest. These children are minors and they need to have their separate representation if you needed. Polusoro decided that, oh no, made an application to court to have Tochi joined in the suit. He applied to court because why would we sue Tochi? She doesn't have the documents for Access Bank. She doesn't have the documents for 10Gen. It's Aigboje and Polusoro and Uche that have these documents. So that is why Aigboje and Polusoro and Uche were the defendants. It was mischief by Polusoro, requesting that because we had heard that they had touted before that, oh, they want to see how he's going to be pitted against his granddaughter and see how he feels about it in the courthouse. So they sneakily brought that in and then pushed it forward as the narrative in the courthouse. You know, he's actually quite devastated by that, and to think that he trusted them implicitly before, and this is what they chose to do, has been actually quite heart-wrenching for him because he can.
According to the US-based lawyer, Herbert had trust for all his children, and Aig apparently wants to get his hands on them. According to Joyce, this is why Aig pushed for Tochi and Uche Wigwe to be appointed guardians of Tochi's younger siblings. Aig controls them, and Tochi is her sibling's guardian.
You know, I understand that Aig had actually reached out to the trust in London, and he was told that he could not be given any information, except of course he's the he's the guardian to the children. So, you know, when I suddenly saw that, you know, Tochi was being cordoned off her family, and then being taken, taken to magistrate court to get a guardianship certificate, it made me, it kind of raises your antenna, because now you're wondering, you're cordoning her off, she's guardian, so she goes back to London, she's guardian, and so she has complete access to even that which belongs to her kids, and you have complete control over her. Now the question we even raised was, why would Tochi need a guardian certificate? A child who had already said to her grandfather, I want to work with you, Grandpa, on her daddy's estate. But guess what? When they took her to guardianship, when they took her to the magistrate court, I understand the law that was used is the kind of law you use for children on the streets, vagabond children that have no families. You know, it is an insult to us that you should cost our child, Polusoro cost our child, to go through a magistrate court with using a law that was for children that had no home, no background, children on the streets that had no families. Tochi comes from a family. When did they become kids on the streets? That you take them round without the notification of the grandparents, the aunties, or the uncles. How do you go and get such certificate? We're in Nigeria. Anybody who goes to River State knows exactly where our home is. We're not a secret family. We've all held public positions. I have held positions in private sector and government and public sector. My father has done the same. My brothers have done the same. My sisters have done the same. So we're not a secret family. We're not a family where you say we don't know where we come from. So why would you make this poor child go and get a certificate of a child like she has no, like she's a vagabond on the street?
So for you,
this interview has spawned speculations that Aig may be grooming Tochi. It's no secret that when a person loses a family member, they are usually vulnerable, especially when they lose 3 family members at once in a tragic accident. For anyone with an ulterior motive, this is usually the time to strike fast and hard, and netizens believe this is what is happening. Just like Joyce Wigwe said about the red flags during the late Herbert's funeral, a video of Aig and his wife flanked on both sides of Tochi has been making waves online. In the video, which was taken during the deceased wake-keep ceremony in March 2024, you can see billionaire businessman Aliko Dangote watching with confusion, or should we say disappointment, as Aig sang a Christian song playing in the background to Tochi while his wife flanked Tochi on the other side. Many believe that the Access Holding Group chairman seized the emotional and vulnerable period to show Tochi love and support so she could trust him. Tochi may also think she has no choice because Aig claims to be the sole trustee of her inheritance and that of her siblings. Hence, she may feel she has to dance to his tunes and be in his good book to continue living the good life. Aig was also close to her father as they were business partners for a long time and started their careers together. Hence, Aig has been more like an uncle to her. As such, it would be very easy for Tochi to open up to him. Tochi, who is reportedly 25 years old, holds a bachelor's degree in social and cultural analysis from New York University. In October 2024, she graduated with a master's degree in innovation, entrepreneurship and management from Imperial College Business School, London. However, her LinkedIn page shows she has very little working experience or skills in the corporate world. About 4 months ago, Tochi was appointed the director of her late father's NGO, the How Foundation. Hence, she is still fresh in the game.
Over the past few weeks, my team and I have been developing a mandate that I would love to share with you all today. The TW Entrepreneurship 2030 Agenda. I'm committed to supporting small and medium-sized businesses in achieving their full potential and sustainability, and thereby impacting our nation as a whole.
Her auntie, Joyce Wigwe, believes that her age and lack of experience make it nearly impossible for her to make informed decisions, arguing that for assets of the magnitude left behind by her father, even a professional will need layers of lawyers and experts to help them through the process.
I mean, these are complex corporate matters, right? Which even you and I, if we were involved, we would need layers of lawyers and accounting and financing to be able to advise us. So tell me what a 25-year-old girl, whose parents were suddenly taken away and left at the mercy with no help from grandparents or uncles or aunties. She's left in the middle there, and she said, oh, you are going to make the decision. She had barely worked a month or two before her parents passed. Where is she going to get the business acumen, the knowledge from, without the help from family members to be able to go through it? Besides, she's gone through an extremely difficult time losing her closest sibling and her parents. How can she then be of such sharp business acumen, such sharp mind, that she's going to make such complex business decisions?
According to Joyce, everyone in the Wigwe family is a professional and an accomplished personality in their field. Yet, Aig is isolating her from them so she can make poor judgments that may favor him. Even worse, Aig arranged for Tochi's master's degree graduation in London, but sidelined the Wigwe family, who had to find out through third parties and social media.
Tochi was graduating in June, July.
Last year?
Yeah, last year, after Herbert passed on. None of us was allowed there.
Really?
No. Aigboje took Tochi by himself. So if you see the pictures, it's Aigboje, Tochi, Uche, Iderog, and then they invited my sister who lives in Canada. She could join them. And my father was quite upset. My father asked Aigboje, is this my daughter's graduation or your daughter's graduation? I mean, how come we and my family is not represented in my granddaughter's graduation? So you usurp it or you take it and then you FaceTime me, oh, see Tochi's graduation. We have a precedent. We don't do like that. We actually walk to, and this was more important because Tochi had just lost her parents and her sibling. So we were particularly pained because we believed that we should all be there to rejoice with her. We know what it meant to Herbert to have her go back to Imperial College for masters. It meant everything to him. He was truly happy and proud. So you can imagine that we wanted to celebrate with her. You know, my parents, all of us were gearing up. My brother Emeka wanted to go. Aigboje told him, no need, don't come. Stopped him from going. As for me, I wasn't even told the date.
However, those following the ongoing feud disagree with Joyce Wigwe that Tochi lacks the experience to manage her late father's wealth and make sound judgments at her age. Victoria was barely 18 when she became Queen of England. She grew up fatherless, without siblings, and lived a sheltered life until then. Yet, England experienced major industrialization and economic development under her reign. Tochi will be fine, a user wrote on X. They maintained that the 25-year-old girl is more than capable, and no one would question Tochi's judgment if she were a man. That's not all. They questioned how Aig gained Tochi's trust when she already had a close relationship with her father's family. Many believe their greed drove Tochi into the arms of Aig and his wife. Netizens further referenced Joyce's claim that the Wigwes were very close to late Herbert and his family. If true, why were they not named as a possible trustee in the trust or will, causing the issues? Why are they filing a suit seeking interim administrations for late Herbert's assets to take care of their parents? They wonder why the four surviving siblings of the late banking icon cannot be responsible for their elderly parents' monthly stipends. Why do they want the stipend to continue to be paid from late Herbert's estate? Does this mean they are broke and after the wealth too? Another set of people, however, pointed out that Aig may have ulterior motives, but they believe it is normal for people like Aig to rally around their friends' children when they pass. They say it is normal for couples to flank people they are commiserating with because this helps them confront the person better, taking turns when necessary. That's not all. They think that if late Herbert trusted his friend Aig, no one has a reason to be suspicious of him now because the deceased may have given him information still unknown to the public. Joyce Wigwe, during the interview, recalled having a conversation with Herbert before he passed. The lawyer claimed the late banker talked about what he wanted for his children up to his last born, who was 2 years old. Herbert also said he was entrusting his children with her should he pass. However, many are suspicious that someone like Herbert, who was very smart and immaculate, failed to make his wishes legal in writing. This woman is just portraying all the signs of greed and entitlement. Your brother refused making you all his kids' guardian and confidant. It's now that he is late you want it to change. One user wrote online, "Listened to Joyce Wigwe's interview and I'm beginning to believe it was too harsh in my judgment. They genuinely have a point." One user praised her for fighting for Tochi and her siblings. Surprisingly, while the Wigwe battled it out with Aig, we have heard nothing from the family of the late Herbert's wife. Indeed, the late banking icon was not the only one swimming in money. His wife, Chizoba, who also passed in the February 9, 2024 helicopter crash between the California-Nevada border in the US, was also wealthy. Chizoba Doreen Wigwe was the owner of Craneburg, a multinational construction company. Somehow, Tochi Wigwe appears to have no trouble with her mother's business partners and family members over the wealth left behind. Neither has she reacted to her auntie's tell-all interview yet.
Herbert's children, which are my nieces and nephews, they need nurturing. I'm a mother, so this at night, who is holding Hannah? At night, who is holding David? Who is hugging Okachi? Who is telling Tochi it's going to be all right? You know, who is talking to them at 3 a.m. when they're crying on their beds? Do you know what pain we have to deal with? That they're in the house by themselves, and we go to the house, you know, at the gates they'll tell you either she's not in or you know we will check or we will see. They come up with stories, you know. They come up with stories, and even my parents are put in a very embarrassing situation. I mean, they've gone there before and they said, "Oh, sorry, she's in a meeting." Before you know it, "Oh, sorry, she has left the house." You know, they don't get to see the child. So we are going through a very difficult time with children that are ours, and before our eyes we are seeing something that is completely inconsistent with our values, our nurturing. We don't leave children alone in our family. We hug and love on our kids, especially at a time like this, because for healing we need them to heal. We need them to heal, and they need us to heal. The grandparents need to see their grandchildren around to heal. So the whole idea of cordoning them off, putting them there and not allowing them access, and yet we don't know where their fathers and their parents' estate is for them, for their future. We don't want a situation. They live in that house. What if somebody comes up tomorrow and says, "Oh, okay, you've run up the bill for the house, now the money is finished, we can't." What about if those surprises come? Then you can't quite interrogate that, because in the first place you didn't even know how much there was, right? So you can't quite say, "Oh, the money has run out." So we're asking, we want to be able to manage the expenses. We want to know what is going on. We want to be able to know how the bills are run. We don't want any surprises coming up. So you're refusing to tell us leaves us at your mercy. And there's such a high risk, because if anything, if you choose to you know, if you choose to use up the money in things that shouldn't be used up with, these children are going to be left without any form of inheritance at the end of the day. How are they going to cope? They're going to have to come back to us, you know. So at this point in time, we want to be there for our children. We want to be able to dry their eyes and tell them it's okay. We want to, that is really what we want. I want to make sure that they become as rounded and mentally stable as much as possible.
Does this mean something we're yet to find out? Tell us, guys, what do you think of Joyce Wigwe's Tell It All interview? Do you believe her that Aig-Imoukhuede is the one orchestrating the feud in the family? Do you still believe the group chairman of Access Holding is exploiting Tochi's vulnerability? Do you think Aig is simply fulfilling his promise to support and protect the children of his late friend and business partner? Finally, do you agree with Joyce that Tochi needs a father's family because she is not experienced enough in the corporate world?
Let's go to the comment section to share our opinion. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it so it can reach the right people. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can be notified every time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. It's Tico here, and I'll see you again soon.